Hello everyone, good morning. I welcome you all to this webinar on Solidworks best practices. So first things first, let me introduce myself. I'm Yatish Krishnamachar. I'm an application engineer at Beacon. So in the next 40 to 45 minutes, so what I'll be wishing to achieve is that I'll just want to take you through some of the best practices or the tips and tricks in SolidWorks in all these modules from UI to drawings. So all these best practices or the tricks will help you to quicken your design process and improve your productivity. So we'll be starting with the UI. So these are the topics that will be covered under the user interface. So to explain this better, I'll be directly going inside SolidWorks. Okay. So first thing I would like to show you here, one of the quick tips is just by pressing the R key on your keyboard, you get the recent document list. That is the list of all the files that you have opened recently in SolidWorks. And also there is a possibility, an option for you to pin this document. So what this pinning exactly does is, so once you pin this, so how much ever files you open after this, but this document you have pinned will always stay in your recent documents list, and you can always find it here. You can see this, whichever I have pinned it, I can find it very quickly right here. So it will be helpful if you are opening some files again and again. It will be helpful if you can just pin it there and just open it right from here. And the next and most, one of the features that I like very much personally is we have search commands. For example, if I want to search for some commands right here, for example, I want to search for the mirror components. I don't know exactly where this feature is. I need not waste my time. So we have a show command location feature here. So but just by clicking here, SolidWorks itself will point to me. So where exactly that feature is located inside SolidWorks, right? And I'll just show one more example for you. If I want to just equations inside the assembly, I just type it there. And you can just search it from right here. Okay, SolidWorks will show me where exactly that feature is located. And this is not only restricted to commands. You can search on for your files and models directly from here. You need not go inside your Windows Explorer. You can search it from here directly. You can even search for the knowledge base or community forum and even SolidWorks blogs. If you want some information regarding any of the features, you can directly search it from right here. Okay. And the next thing is, see, once I go inside a part, I want to edit this part. We have keyboard shortcuts. Okay. Just by pressing the S key, so wherever my mouse pointer is, you can see that the features that I've customized right here can be got very quickly. I can start working then and there. You need not again go to the command manager and search for it. Okay, and this thing here is entirely customizable. So you can either customize it, you can right click, say customize, or you can customize it all by yourself using this customize menu option, or I can just press the S key on my keyboard, and when I right click, you have the options to customize. So you can customize whichever the commands that you use very frequently can be customized then and there. Okay. And one more thing, when I want to edit the model, okay, edit the part, for example, or edit any feature or any sketch for that matter, I just edit sketch. See, we have something called as mouse gestures. Just by holding the right click on my mouse and just by dragging the mouse, I can see this. I have customized certain commands that I use very frequently right here. Okay, so all this saves a lot of time for us. And this again, you can find it right here in the customize. You have a command called as mouse gestures. So here, whether it is the part level or assembly level, drawing levels, and at the sketch level, for each operations, you can customize your mouse gestures differently. So I'll quickly move back into the assembly. So here now, for example, I don't want to change the orientation of my assembly. Okay, I just want it to be like this. But at the same time, I want to zoom, I want to rotate, I want to zoom, I want to take a section view without changing the orientation. This can be done very easily. And the first thing is a tab key, pressing the tab key, selecting a part and pressing the tab key. There's an option to quick hide your parts or assemblies. Okay, and then by pressing the G key, we get something called as the magnifier. So one of the advantages of magnifier is, as I said, so if you don't want to change the orientation of your part or assembly, but you still want to make some, you want to give some mates, or you want to take a section view, you want to have a section view, you can just use this magnifier. By just pressing the G key, you get this magnifier, and by pressing the Alt key and just scrolling the mouse, you can see that I can get a section view of this model right here, right? It's as simple as that. And also if you have some features where you cannot look through, you can use this magnifying glass, and by scrolling you can see that I can zoom in, I can zoom out. So all that can be done. and even mates can be applied using this command. I just control select some two faces. So whichever phase I want to select, you can select them, and automatically you can even control them using the mates. Okay. So this is the advantage of G key magnifier. We call it the G key magnifier. Okay. So you can just press escape to just come out of it. And one more thing, 2016 users out there, I think you'll be familiar with this command called as breadcrumbs. See, whenever I select on any of the phase or feature, you can see this. I get the complete history of how it was created. You can see this was created using loft command, the feature there. So which is the solid body that it belongs to, the part that it belongs to, and the entire assembly. And all the mates that have been provided while creating this part, I mean the assembly has also been recorded right here, and also the sketches. So you can start editing from right here. If you want to edit some sketch, see, everything is right there for you. Right? You can use that. And one more thing using this breadcrumbs is, see, when I just select some of the faces and just press the D key, I just come out of this. Okay. Now I just select some face, and now when I press the D key, the breadcrumbs come right where my mouse pointer is. So for example, I have it right here. My mouse pointer is somewhere here. I press the D key here. So it comes wherever your mouse key is. You need not, I mean, it saves you a mouse travel time. What do you call it? Okay. So you can, from here itself, you can see whatever is related, and you can just start editing the sketches. So this is pertaining to the user interface. So now we will see some quick tips in sketches. Okay. So for this, I'll quickly open a new part. See here, I select the plane to sketch. See now what happens inside SolidWorks. By default, when I'm sketching, you can see that relations are being taken automatically, right? For example, this horizontal relation or this vertical relation. So everything is taken automatically. See, in some cases, when you're in the initial concept design phase, you yourself don't know exact relations between the complete sketch. So what you can do is, see, just select the sketch, just by holding the control key while sketching, you see that the relations will not be added automatically. The SolidWorks stops adding the relationships. Can you see this? There are no relations being added. Okay. So finally, when you yourself know the exact specifications of the sketch, no, then you can give the relations. So this will be helpful when you are into the, as I said, when you're into new product development phase, you yourself don't know the exact specifications. You can use this command, that will be very useful. And the next thing is, most of us use the line command, but I mean, majority of us don't know this. See, when I start drawing a line, okay, and when I end it there, just by pressing the A key, you can get a curve right there. I just select the A key, and then I can start sketching again. Okay, once again I'm here. Once again I press the A key, you see, you get a nice curve there. It's as easy as that. So all of these things saves a lot of time. When you're sketching a part, with a huge part maybe which has a lot of sketches, all these quick tips and tricks that you use saves you a lot of time. Okay, this is one thing. So pressing the A key, just you get the curve directly out of the line. Okay, and one more thing, when I just dimension this, I just quickly dimension this. Okay, now I want to change this dimension. So we have something called as spin boxes, which most of us wouldn't have identified. I myself took a lot of time to figure that out, where it was exactly. You see this thing? This is called a spin box. By just rotating this, you can vary the dimension. You need not even manually enter it there or even use this arrow key. It's as simple as just hovering this spin box. Okay. Now I come out of the sketch. Now we have a command called as rapid sketch here. I don't know how many of us use it though, but it's very useful when you want to create sketches very quickly. For that, I'll just open a specific part. Okay. See here. Now I want to sketch some. On this particular face, on three faces. For example, I want to have some sketches on this face, this, and this. So what we generally do, I just select on this face and I go into sketch, then it becomes normal. I draw the sketch. I need to come out. Then I need to again select this, again sketch. So you are generally having for a single, to create nearly some 3 sketches, you are nearly using some 10 to 12 clicks, mouse clicks. That need not be the case. See, with the rapid sketching on, what I do is I've switched on the rapid sketch. Say I just select a circle. See, I need not even worry. I just start sketching automatically. Okay. So once this is done, now I need not exit sketch at all. With the same rapid sketch on, you can see if I want, I can draw a slot here. The same thing, if I want some other feature in this face, I quickly draw it here. See, automatically 3 different sketches. It's not a single sketch. We are having 3 different sketches. This is the advantages of having rapid sketch, right? Now I can add features however I want individually. Okay, so this rapid sketch will really save a lot of time. You need not go and select each and every phase each and every single time. With the rapid sketch on, you can just select multiple phases and working on them. And the main advantage of it is every sketch will be stored as a separate sketch. It is not like inside a sketch you have all the entities. It's all three different sketches. Okay. The next command that I would like to show you is instant 2D. So we have from 2016. So for example, I want to edit some of the sketches here. Okay, I just say edit sketch. You can see that with the we have something called as instant 2D. So with that instant 2D on, so what I can do is say I can just select this dimension, and like the instant 3D, you can just drag it and add dimensions to it. See, it's quick. It's quicker. You not even type the dimensions. It's right there. You would have known instant 3D. Very similar to that, we have something called as instant 2D. So where I can quickly change my dimensions. Okay. So all these things are saving a lot of time. So next thing is we also have in 2016 for 2016 users out there, we have something called as detached segments also. So I'll just show you that. I just again use the arc command that I already showed you. Just open this part quickly. So this is a valve here. Okay. So if I just open the part for you, you can see that we have a feature here. So I just go inside that sketch. Oh, sorry. I just edit sketch. So now, generally what would happen is, see if I want to change the position of this particular circle or the particular hole, okay. So what we need to do is if I just delete this line, you'll see that there will be some dangling relations or the dangling errors that will be there because we have given some relations to this pertaining to this line or to this point. So there would be some dangling errors. So but here in 2016 we have something called as detached segment on drag. So once I do that, you can see this. I can just drag that particular line and rearrange that however I wish without losing, without having any dangling errors, without losing any references. See, so in just a matter of 2 or 3 seconds, I just changed the entire feature. So without having or without producing any dangling errors or without the loss of any references. Okay. Now the next thing I would like to show is, I personally like this very much inside the sketch. See now, I draw an arc. Okay. We have drawn a simple arc here. But now, if I want to dimension this, what we generate, see, I can get a radius out of this, or maybe if I press a shift, I can get the dia out of that. And if I just select these two endpoints, so all I can get out of it is the distance between those 2 points. But now there will be certain cases where I want the arc length, right? So now I want the arc length. So how to get the arc length inside SolidWorks? So we have provisions for that also. See, I just select these 2 points and then select this arc. Okay, now we can see that whatever is being represented there is the arc length. It's very simple. So initially I just select these 2 points, right? Now I'm going to the distance between these 2 points. So now if I just select on that arc again, select this third thing, you can see that you can generate this arc length automatically. And again, that is as simple as that. Once again I repeat, you just select these 2 points and then select the arc and you will get an arc length out of it. Fine. And once again you can just edit that as per your requirement. It's even editable. Okay, we'll do that later. And the next thing I would like to show is the power trim command. Okay, yes, I think everybody would be familiar with that, but there are some things, no, that you can use it for your benefit. See, for example, I'm just drawing a figure, don't mind. So now I just select the trim command. See, with the power trim active, now yes, we all know that we can just use it to trim the elements, right? But now I've trimmed it. But now what once I trim it, I come to know that I should not have trimmed the previous segment. I find trim the 3 elements there. But now I realize that only trimming the 2 would have been enough. But now when I print Control Z, you can see that again all the 3 entities come back. But I don't want to do that. Okay. So what we can do with that is, see, with the trim entities with the power trim on, see, I just don't want this element and this segment, and I trim this. But now I realize that I wanted the last one that I trimmed off. See, without releasing the mouse click, I just go back to that black point which you can see there. You can see that. See, when I take to that, everything is undone automatically. You need not even release your mouse click. It's as simple as that. See, once again I repeat. See, I just trim this. So now I realize I don't want to trim the last element that I trimmed off, the last segment. So generally now if I release the mouse click, the only thing I can do is Control Z, wherein all the 3 elements will be shown. But what I can do is, see, I just select the power trim it off, I just want this, I just hover back onto that red small point and everything will be undone. Okay. And one more thing we are not familiar when we are using power trim is, see, it can also be used for extension. Okay, this is not that it's not only used for trimming, we can even use it to extend the entities. See, with the power trim on, I just select this line segment and you can see that I can even extend that. See? So with a single power trim command, you need not use corner, trim away, trim outside. With using this power trim, you can do both. You can as well as trim, as well as extend the entities. So I extend this, then I simply hover it, it gets trimmed. Okay. Okay. Now having said this, now I'll just, so it's like a recap. So we saw that when you're drawing a sketch, holding the control key, helps you to stop adding geometrical relations to the sketch. The next thing we saw was when you just draw the lines and just press A key, automatically an arc is generated out of that particular line segment. The next thing is you can automatically change the dimensions using that spin box command. You just hover over it, you just spin that and the dimension changes. The next thing we saw was rapid sketching. So on a single part, if you have to create multiple sketches on different faces, you can just keep the rapid sketch on, and without even having to select 3 different faces each at one at a time, you can just, with the rapid sketch on, you can just do it in a single click. The next thing we saw was tab key helps us to quickly hide the components or the assemblies. And next thing, instant 2D. Similar to instant 3D, we have in sketching from 2016, we have something called as instant 2D, where you can just select the dimension and drag it, okay, in either directions to change the dimension. And the next and the most important command that we saw was the detach segments, wherein you can change the dimensions or change the position of the sketch without breaking any of the references. And the next thing is arc length. So generally we would get the endpoint measurement or the radius of the arc, but now we saw we could even take out an arc length. Okay, just by selecting the 2 points and the arc, we can get an arc length out of it. The next thing we saw was power trim. Okay, so you saw that you can even undo by dragging over the last point that was trimmed, and the same power trim can also be used to extend the entity as well. Right, this is regarding sketching. So now we will move on to modeling. Okay, so there are various things to be covered in modeling, so we'll just start. For that, I'll just go back into Solidworks. Okay. Again, I'll use the R key, the recent commands, and I'll have to open this assembly up. There are various tricks inside assemblies, but I'll be handling only a few because we have a restriction of time here. Okay. Okay. See, one thing you have to notice in the feature manager tree when you open up any assembly or a part is, see, we have something called as filters here, right? See, for example, every time I come in, I need to edit some sketches here. Okay, so what I have to do generally is conventional method. I have to go here, search for the particular feature, then go inside that and then search for the sketches inside the feature. But you need not do all that. No, all you do is you come here and type sketch. Okay, and SolidWorks will automatically filter this for you. Just a minute, there's a lag. Okay, see, once I type sketch, you can see that all the sketches along with their features are filtered. So this will help me to easily select whichever sketch I want to edit. It's not only it's not only confined to sketches. Okay, anything. For example, if you want to see the cut extrudes here, okay, I just type in cut extrudes, and so you can only see all the cut extrude and the part which it is in, and you can directly start working from here. So this filter helps us to quickly search for things in a very large assembly. Now you will generally waste your time in finding the sketches itself. You have to go, you have to select a part, inside the part again. There are so many features and then a sketch. So you can avoid all that. Okay. The next thing we have is something called as favorites or selection sets. Okay. So what this exactly is say I'll just show you. See, for example, in my assembly, I generally make some changes in this diameter hole. For example, my customer requirement is that this diameter which I am showing you, this hole, keeps constantly changing. So I did not come and search for it every time right here. What I can do is I can just select these 2 features, and then we have an option, okay, to add it to favorites. Okay, see, I just add it to favorites, and you can see that a favorites folder is created. So from the next time when I come into the assembly, when I open up this assembly, I not go searching for it. I just open my favorites folder, make the necessary changes right here, and then close it. So favorites can be used. You can save those commands or features or parts whichever you use recently or whichever you modify very frequently. You can just create a favorites folder of it and just put it right there, and that will help you, or help you quickly edit your designs. Okay. In the same way, just a minute, we have something called a selection sets also. I'll just show that. Okay, I just quickly select these three features. Okay, the same way we have something called as save selection. Okay, so if I go here, you can see that we have something called as selection sets. It's very similar to favorites, but what happens is you can have these three commands right here. Once again, the main purpose of us doing all this is to quickly see those features which are constantly frequently using, and then save our time in editing those things. Okay. The next command that I would like to show is we have something called as split feature manager. I'll just show you. For that, I'll just open a different part here. Okay. Maybe this one. See now, for example, I had multiple configurations in this. Consider that I had multiple configurations within this part. Okay. Now, in order to work in different configurations, the general method would be I would come into configurations, I would double click the configuration, the second or the third configuration, whichever it is, and then go back to the part again and start editing it. But that need not be so. See, what I do is I can split this feature manager into two or any number of segments. And here I select the configurations. I can make the necessary, whichever configuration I want to make active, I can just do that. And then you can start working on that particular feature of that particular configurations. Okay, if you had 2 to 3 configurations, you need not go every time, you need not do this. Now I just keep this feature manager here in the part level, and I just go here, change my configurations, and then start working here. Okay. Okay. The next thing is we have another thing called as part reviewer. Okay. See, generally when we want to see the steps in which the part is created, what we do, we just move this back to here and we just manually drag it every time, right? So you need not do that. So I'll just open up another part for you so that we'll understand better. Okay. See, I have a hose here. Okay. Hose fitting. So now I want to see the steps, exactly the steps in which the part is created. Okay. I need not drag this back and then drag it manually every time. We have something called as part reviewer. Say I just type it here. Okay, we have something called as part reviewer. You can find it right here. You can use the command. You can start using the search command manager. See, once I open this part reviewer, okay. See, this gives me each and every step, how the part was created. You can see, right? See, so the part reviewer is used for this purpose. Okay, you can know each and individual steps as to how this part was made. What are the commands that were used to create this part, right? So you can start using this part reviewer. Once everything is completed, if you want to review your part, everything has been created correctly. What are the steps that has been taken to create this part? Or if you're a manager, you want to check how your designers has created this part. What are the steps? So you can just click on this part reviewer, and just all you need to do is just do this, and everything will be shown to you right on the screen. Okay. Okay. So next thing I would like to take up is, you can make a note of it. We have something called as purge data. Okay. For this, it's better if I open up an assembly. Okay. Maybe this one. Okay. See, when I just right click on this particular part, okay, just a minute, sorry, when I right click on this particular assembly, we have something called as just a minute, I can just search for it here. Just a minute, I think I need to roll this back. I'll open a different assembly. Okay. Okay. See, now when I open this assembly app, when I right click on that particular top level assembly, I can see I have a feature called as, or a command called as purged unused features. Okay. What this exactly does is, I don't think this anything has. So what exactly the purge features, purge data does is, see if there are any commands or any features, okay, that is not being used in that particular assembly, you can just, it automatically shows you those commands or features that have not been used. I don't have any unused features here. So how exactly it works is, see, if I just purge unused feature, SolidWorks will automatically show me the sketches or references or the features that have not been used or that have been suppressed in all the configurations, which means that you're not using those features in assembly, because if it is suppressed in all configurations, just a minute. Okay, so I'll just right click and do purge unused features. Once again, sorry, I'll just repeat that. So what we can do is, see, if I have any sketches or features that is unused, it will be taking up some space inside your part or assembly, right? So SolidWorks automatically detects those features which are suppressed in all the configurations. So SolidWorks understands that if it is suppressed in all configurations, then it is something that you don't want, right? It is not required anymore. So SolidWorks automatically detects those features, and you can even delete them from right here. Okay, so purge data will be useful to reduce your size of your component or the size of your part, whichever you're using. And the one more thing is, see, if you're having multiple configurations, okay, and if only one of the configuration is active in an assembly, when you take that part or particular sub-assembly into an assembly, if only one of the configurations is active, so why you waste your space for rest of the configurations, right? So you can do that. You can save space by, if you go to options, okay, and performance, you can see something called as purged cache configuration data. If I just check that on and say okay, what will happen is only that configuration which is active, okay, space will be consumed only for that configurations, and the rest of the configurations will be purged. Okay, this at any point of time you can switch it on right here in options, performance. You have an option to purge cache configuration data. Okay, you can use that. Okay, and the next thing is, I'll quickly open up a part. See here. Okay, see now I don't want, I mean, as a manager or as a designer, I want to prevent some changes to be made to certain features in this model. Okay, so I don't want, for example, I don't want these two boss extrudes to be, I mean, I want to leave it untouched. Okay, so what I can do is, we have an option. If I go to options in general, I have something called as enable freeze bar here. See, if I click OK, you can see that this orange line here vanishes. Once again, I'll do that for you. I'll just switch it on. In general, we have something called as enable freeze bar. When I say okay, you get this orange line here. Okay, so you can just drag it wherever you want it, and you can see that there is a lock symbol here. Okay, so what it indicates is you are preventing unintentional changes to these particular features, and when I right click on that, you can see that there is no edit option available there, whereas here I have it. Okay, and there are multiple advantages to it. The one thing is, yes, you are controlling any unintentional changes to the model. The second thing is that, see, if you have a large assembly and every time you rebuild the assembly, it takes a lot of time because it is rebuilding all the features inside that particular model, right? So when you use this feature freeze, this command is called as the feature freeze. So when you use this feature freeze, what happens is you are preventing these three features from rebuilding. Okay, so this is saving you time. You can quickly rebuild your model. So however, you have not changed these three boss extrudes, so why waste your time in rebuilding them again, right? So this command will be very useful to you, and at any point of time, you can just over back into that. So I repeat where you find that command. It's there, right there in options, in general, enable freeze bar. Okay, okay. Now I would like to show some of the capabilities. See, now this is a knuckle joint. Okay, so now there is an extra material here. I want to remove that material. So the conventional method, what is the conventional method? The conventional method would be that I draw a circle here and then create a cutout. Okay, that would be the general conventional method that we do to remove this material. But you need not have multiple steps. See, for example, if I want to create, I have to draw a circle here, cut extrude, cut it through. No, all that is not required. See, what I do is I just select these faces. Okay, in SolidWorks we have a command called as, see, we have a command called as delete face. Okay, I just select all these faces very quickly, and then we have a command called as delete and patch here. Okay, so when I say delete and patch, SolidWorks automatically understands as to how this geometry should be, and see, it patches the entire geometry for us. Okay, so in the backend, SolidWorks is trying to understand this is the intended notion that I am designing it with, so it automatically does that. So all this is saving you a lot of time. Okay, and now I want to add fillets. I quickly use the S command to get the shortcut. From right here I select the fillets. See, now this edge is visible. I can apply the fillet, but many people don't know that you need not rotate your model like this and then select this edge. Okay, because SolidWorks has the capability of selecting through the faces. See, if it's like this, see, I can even select it right from here. Okay, so if it is a complex model having many sharp corners, so every time you need to apply fillet for the corners, you need not rotate your model every way to do that. You can just have it at a particular location, and SolidWorks has the capability to select through the faces. Okay, so now I add a fillet here. Okay, see, one more thing is SolidWorks is integrated with Windows, right? I think you all know that. So everything like Control C, Control V works here. See, for example, I have a chamfer here. I have fillet here. Okay, wait, let me delete this fillet and explain it better. Now what I do is I apply the fillet only to one edges. I just select this and do this. Now what I do is I just select this fillet and do the conventional thing. Control C and Control V. See, it works. Okay, I think Control C, Control V we all are familiar with, and we use it quite often. So it will be useful for you inside SolidWorks also. So everything, once I do Control C, everywhere I can just do the Control V and everything will be automatically taken. Okay, you need not select each and individual edge and say fillet again. So Control C, Control V works. Okay, now again I come to one of my favorite tools here. See, this is a very simple part that we use for sketching. Okay, see, now we want to create a plane. Okay, maybe on this particular normal to this edge. So what do? We go to features, we open this, we select the plane, select this edge. So we do all that circus, right? But SolidWorks, SolidWorks is there to make things easy for us, and it has made that also. So now what I do is, say I just select this edge, right? I go to sketch and say just sketch. Can you see that a plane normal to that is automatically created? You need not, break your head in creating that. So now you may ask me, see, I got it near this edge. If I want the plane near this edge, now what do I do now? Nothing. See, if you have your mouse closer to this edge and say sketch, SolidWorks creates a plane there. It understands automatically. It's that intelligent. Okay. So where this will be useful? See, creating a plane here is not so difficult, right? I can just go to plane. If I select this face, a normal plane will be created. But when you have a line like this, which is inclined, okay, now we need to do a lot of circles in creating a plane here. An inclined plane that is normal to this particular line, right? But now it will be very useful in these places. See, I just select this edge and say sketch, and a plane normal to it is created. You can start sketching. You need not worry about going to the planes, and you can see that even in the feature manager tree, it has been captured. You have different planes. Okay, and similar way, as I told you, if you want a plane here, it's as simple as just selecting, take your mouse nearer to this particular edge and say sketch, and a plane is created like this, right? So this is a tool that will be very useful to you. So it's very simple. Okay. The next thing, let me add some appearances. Okay. Maybe that will make it colorful when I take it into the PDF. Not this. Okay, maybe something like this. Okay. See, now you want to send this model to some of your customers or clients, to whomever it is, but he doesn't have SolidWorks with him. So what I can send, I can convert the drawing into PDF and send it to him, but he can only see the 2D part of it. Okay, I think he can see the isometric view also, but he doesn't get the power of, having to rotate it or take a section view of it and see how it works, right? But it is possible now. See, when I say save as, okay, and we just select that PDF option. Where is that? Yes, I find it right here. So now we can see that we have a command. If I just take it to the center, you can see that we have a command called as save as 3D PDF, right? When I just select that and say save, okay, just replace it. So now SolidWorks does take some time. It in the background, see, it works everything, and see, we get a wonderful PDF. So by just having, by just clicking the left click on my mouse, I can rotate it. Can you see that? You can even change the views. See, if you want a shaded wireframe, this is how it looks. Now you have the power to do whatever you want to do with it. See, one main advantage is that all you need to have, all your customer or client needs to have is the Adobe Reader. That's all. Nothing else. He need not even have SolidWorks. Okay, and you can do much more with it. I'm just say everything what I'm showing you is just a trick, a tip. That's all. And you can experiment. At your end, I think you need to experiment a lot in this. You'll find much more features here. Okay, and you can even have a section view created. See, And if you want to change the section planes, that is also possible. You can just keep it, see, and you have all the controls here. I think you can play around with it. So once this webinar is done, I hope you all there will, play around with whatever has been taught here. Okay. Let's just quickly hide this. So if you want to see the tree also, that is also possible, the model and what are the sketch, how many sketches it has. So everything can be seen right here. Okay. So if you want to spin, if you want to pan, so what is it that you want to do? If you want to pan it, see. So everything is possible. So 3D PDF, it will be very, very useful. It's a very powerful tool. At least I feel that it is a very powerful tool. So once you start using it, yes, even you will feel it and even your clients will be happy for using it. Okay. So we'll just quickly go into the slide once again. Quick recap. So yes, so what we saw here in the modeling is, first thing we saw that feature manager tree filter. So what it was, if you want to search for some sketches inside any features or anything, so you can just type in there. If you know the sketch name, you can type in directly. If not, if you just type in sketch, everything will be shown there. It's filtering the data for you. The next thing is favorites. So whichever features or it may be any other commands that you are using frequently inside the feature manager tree, you can just multiple select them and you can just right click and say save as favorites or selection sets. Okay. So all these things, it's trying to save your time. Next, you can split the feature manager tree by just dragging it downwards. So this will be helpful if you have multiple configurations. I need to edit multiple configurations. No, you can use that. The part reviewer, which helps you to see how the part was created step by step. Next is purge data. So purge data generally helps you to save the space. So once the entire assembly is done, when you right click on the assembly and say purge data, it will show you all the unused features in all the configurations. You can just purge them. It will save you a lot of space. Next thing we saw feature freeze. If you want to restrict the changes to any of the particular features, you can just switch this feature freeze on and those commands will be logged, and also it will help you, when you're rebuilding. It will help you for a quick rebuild. Okay. And we saw a delete phase. We saw that knuckle wherein you need not create a circle and then cut out. You can just use the delete and patch command, and SolidWorks will patch the entire thing for you. Okay. The next thing is we saw the the fillets. Okay. We can select through faces, right? Next thing, by using the Control C and Control V, you can just copy and paste. It's not only for fillets, you can do it for chamfers as well as holes. I just showed for fillets. You can try it at your end for chamfers and holes. The next thing, if you want to create, a planes normal to any edges, you need not go to a fringe geometry plane, all that. You can just select its edge and say sketch, and a plane normal to that would be created. You also saw the power of 3D PDF, right? Next thing, we'll move into assembly. Okay. I'll just quickly move into SolidWorks once again for this. Okay. Sorry, PDF. Okay. So now we'll open up assemblies. Maybe I'll use this one. Okay. See, we have assembly here. Okay. See, yes, we would have opened many assemblies many a times, but many things we fail to observe is, see, once I open an assembly, we have quick filters here, right? See, there are so many things. Everything is crowded here. I don't know what is what. So now if I just select the parts filter here, only the parts, I would be able to see only the part that is there. So just like a quick filter where you can see only the assemblies here. It's for easy selections, right? Hassle free. Okay. So if you want only the drawings, that can also be done. I don't think there's any drawing here. Oh, there are here. Fine. There's nothing here. So you can use these quick filters. Okay. The next thing we see often is something called as references here, right? See, I have opened an assembly inside SolidWorks, or maybe I just select a particular assembly inside, and when I click references, it shows me all the components that are there within that assembly that the assembly is referencing. Now if I want to change that part, for example, I want this assembly to reference a different expander pin than which is right here, so I can just click here. Okay. Then you can just select that part which you want it to reference. Okay. So you can try it out at your end. It's simple. I just select an assembly. I have a expander pin assembly. When I say references, it lists out all the parts which the assembly is referring to and also its locations, right? So everything is listed down here, and you can even change the reference. So having said that, the next thing is we have something called as, see, when I just select an assembly, I think many of you would have seen it. See, we have various modes in which you can open this assembly, right? See, when I have a large design review, when I select for a large design review mode, so this is a mode. For example, if you have an assembly with more than 500 components, When you just try to open it in the resolve mode, I know how much time it will take, right? So you're, instead of wasting that time, you can just open it in a large design review mode. So in a large design review mode, what happens is the assembly opens very quickly, okay, so that you can have a graphic visual of that particular component. And you can even open right from here. I told you about the R command, the recent, right? So if you, for example, if this is the assembly I want to open, see, you have a small arrow mark here. When I just click that, you have, you have the options to open this, a resolve mode in a default mode. You can even open it right here from here, okay. Okay. The next thing is this selection command. See, this is very useful. See, if you want to select some, for example, I want to select the toolbox components in here, okay. I not go here, search and select all this, control select all this, or I need not even select it from the feature manager tree. So all I can do is I just go here and say, select the toolbox components. See, and Solidworks is automatically selecting all the toolbox components for me. And if I want to suppress them, I can just do it in a single click. So this selection is not only restricted to the toolbox components. See, you can select the identical components, internal components, or hidden components. So whatever it is, you can just make use of this. It will be used for multiple selections, right? Once again, I'm showing that to you. So this will be very useful. And now you can see this knuckle that we created seems to be out of this assembly, right? We need to paint it. It's out of paint. So what we can do is in SolidWorks, you need not again go to appearance and do that. We have an option. See, I just right click on this. Sorry, you can even left click. We have something called as copy appearance, right? I just copy this, come on this and say paste appearance. It is asking me for the part or for boss extrude. You have the command. You have the power to select whichever you want. I say for the entire delete and patch this assembly. You saw that in a matter of just 2 clicks, I painted the entire knuckle in the same color as the assembly, right? So these are some things which will be very useful to you. Once again, we are dealing with tips and tricks, right? We want to save your time. That is what we are focusing on. So these commands, when you're using in a very large assembly, will save you a lot of time. Okay. The next thing, see, I want one more component. See, we have a component here. Okay. I want one more component like this, another component onto the other side. Again, I do not go into insert components. Okay. What I do is I just press on control, select this and just drag it into my assembly. Okay, so there is an option called control drag which creates a copy of that particular part. You need not again browse for that particular part. So I repeat, see, what you can do is you have this part, I want another part, you can just control drag from right here or from the feature manager tree. I just drag it here. Okay, so that possibility is there. You can just control and drag. Okay, and when I go to evaluate, you can see something called as performance evaluation. Okay, so when I select this, what is this performance evaluation? Okay, I just close this. I think I need to open some other part, just a minute. So what the performance evaluation exactly does is, see, it will tell you the time, okay, that is required to rebuild this particular model. Okay, so you can see this, it will telling you the total number of components, everything that is there, and even tell you the time that it takes. See, it even says that the assembly has not been rebuilt. So once I rebuild it, so it records the data from the SolidWorks background and it will tell me, so what is the time that it will take to rebuild this particular component. So if you see that it is taking too much time, then you can just lock some of the features, the feature freeze command, and then again rebuild. That will save you a lot of time in rebuilding it. Okay. And let us see mirroring. Okay. So one important feature that I would like to cover in mirroring is, see, now I have a part here which I want to mirror it on the other side, right? Seems very simple, right? Let us see how simple it is. See, now I just go to mirror components. I have already a default plane created. Let me see. I have a mirror plane here. Okay, I selected that. Now I have selected this component. Okay. Have you ever wondered what this arrow mark is all about inside SolidWorks when I use the mirror command? See, once I just select that, you can see that, see, I have a part here this way, but you can see that when I mirrored it, it has been turned upside down, because it is an exact mirroring. But I don't want this to happen. I want it to be exactly the same way as it is here. Okay, so we have something called as opposite hand version mirroring inside SolidWorks. So all I do is I just click this and you can see that it is adjusted itself in the same way as it is here. Okay, if I just uncheck this, you can see it is inverted. See, if I just, okay, can you see that this is inverted? See, So once again I repeat, I just delete this mirror component. Okay, now I want to mirror this component. I just say mirror component, I just select the required plane and I just select this component. Okay, so once I select this next arrow key, you can see this, since I select the mirror, this entire part has been inverted. So now by using the opposite hand version, you can create the same way the part is. Okay, see, and there are much more things to experiment on that. I mean, I've just showed you that there is an arrow mark right here. When you say mirror components, you do have an arrow mark here. Just play around with it, just experiment with that, and you learn better. Okay, next thing. I mean, sorry that I need to, I mean, I'm shifting between many assemblies here, but that is required now. Okay, so now I have this assembly here. Okay, now you can see that this is a smart component. Fine, I just select on that. See, now it is asking me for a reference face. Okay, see, it is asking me for a missing face. I have to select a face, but the face that I wish to select is behind this bezel. So how do I select this? See, we have an option. When I just right click on this, we have an option to, we have something called as select other. Okay, when I just click that, you can see you can select those faces behind this also. You get various options. So now I can select the face that is behind this bezel instead of hiding that and doing all that. See, the face has been taken as a reference. And once I say OK, no, now I just quickly, I use the tab key to quickly hide it, and you can see that features has been created, I cut out. Okay, so the select other option lets you to select through faces or behind the faces. It gives you a lot of options. Okay, just try that. We have something called as select other also. Okay, see, it's right here. When you click on any part, it's right here. Select other. It gives a lot of options of selecting anything that is behind or which is not visible to you. You can select that. Okay. Now, see, for example, I want another component. I just, let me drag this. Now I have this. Okay, from 2016 users. See, what you can do is when I just right click, we have something called as component preview window. Okay, so the advantage of this is if I want to mate it, okay, what happens if I have a single window, if I rotate it, okay, the entire assembly rotates. Okay, so that will be difficult for me to apply mates. But here what I can do is, see, I can only individually rotate this 2016. I mean, this is only available from 2016. So you can rotate it. So you can select a feature here. I'm doing it very roughly to explain, don't mind. So I just select this face. I just select this face here. You can see the mate, everything is right there. Okay. So once again, if this is the face, you can see, and if this is the face I want to coincide to something tendency. So this is the advantage. I mean, I'm doing it very roughly. Okay, don't scold me for that. So why I showed you this is, you have from 2016, you have this. You can start making use out of it. Because if I have to mate it here, see, I have to rotate the entire assembly like this. It's very confusing at times. So it's better you just right click on the part, whichever you have brought it into the assembly, and say component preview window, and you get it right here. Or you can play around with it here. Okay, just select the faces, and when you select it here, you can see that it has been, I mean, it is highlighted here also. So you can reconfirm, because if you don't know which is the site that you are selecting. Okay, just a minute. So see, when I select this, it shows you this is this face that you have selected in this preview window. So everything is available right there. Right? Okay. We will see some more and we'll end with it. I think I'm running out of time. I'll just quickly open one more assembly here. Okay. See, I have an assembly here. Okay. See, if I want to mate it or do something with this, see, now what happens is there are too many moving parts. If I just try to drag this, see, there is a moving part here, this rotates. Now I find it difficult to handle this assembly itself. Okay, so what I can do is, see, we have a command. When I right click on this, we have a command called as temporary fix or group. No, this was previously available. I think it was available in move components. You were able to fix the components, but right now it is available just in your right click. You can just right click and say temporary fix or group. You can just say I want to group this, all this, and say fix or group. Okay, now what happens is, see, it moves together. There is no movement on any other side. I mean, what we are trying to do is here, we are arresting the degree of freedom basically. Okay, so we have arrested the degree of freedom of this particular component and this particular component, and all you can do is, see, it's now easier, it's arrested. Okay, the next thing is, see, now see, by just doing this, I'm able to select all the components. See, you need not go and individually control select each and every component there. I just do this. Okay, that entire components is selected. Now what I do, again, I told you about the control C, control V, right? So One more, I mean, not interesting, I would say one more fun thing in SolidWorks about this is, see, when I say Control C and I say Control V, you see I got the sub-assembly. So what is the use of this is, wait, let me just mate it so that you'll understand better. I just select this face and select this face and say concentric. Okay, something like this. So now what has happened when I say Control C, Control V is, even the mates have been preserved. Okay, for better understanding, wait, let me confine it still better. Okay, maybe with mate. See, now whatever mates were there have also been taken right here. See, so you need not worry about giving mates once again. If you copy a sub-assembly is copied along with its mates. It's simple, right? See, everything is preserved. This is one thing. And one more thing is, see, generally if I want to mate this inside this, we generally select these two faces, do concentric mate, then coincident. So all this, that is not necessary. See, I just select this particular edge. I just control select this particular edge. We have something called as profile center mate. I just select that. It snaps there along with the concentric mate as well as the coincident mate. Right? And you can even lock the rotation if you want. There is an option to lock the rotation also. Okay. Let's show you that. See, I select this particular edge, this edge, okay. Now, see, you have an option to lock the rotation also. If you don't want it to rotate, I just say lock rotation and say okay. See, it doesn't rotate also, it's fixed. Okay, so you can avoid using 2 or 3 mates there, having a concentric mate, then having a coincident mate. So all that can be avoided, which will save us time. Okay. Next thing, we will have something called as assembly visualization. I think I need to go quick. At the same time, I mean, I just don't want to say something. Okay, I just want to be precise on whatever I'm saying. So I just go to evaluate. I hope you don't mind even if this webinar extends to maybe some other 5 or 10 minutes. I'm sorry for that, but still, I would like to complete this. Okay. You know the joy of sharing, right? So assembly visualization. Okay. See, one advantage of this is, see, for example, if I want to visualize this entire assembly, based on the mass or based on the density, volume, or whatever, even I can create the custom things. If I want to have density or mass, you can see that has been developed in an ascending order, right? By just clicking on this, you can see it has been completely visualized. You can see that blue, it has been completely organized. So when I say blue, you can come there, see the color coding. Okay, this is the part that they are referring to, and this is the mass of it. Everything. You can even sort it in ascending or descending order. Now you see the blue, the tank, which has the propane in it, weighs more. So you can visually see, which is the component that weighs more, which weighs less, or which is the component, I mean, you want to see the density, that can also be done. So everything can be visualized. So this is basically for the visualization purpose. Okay. Okay, let me again recap once again whatever was covered inside the assemblies. So we saw quick filters, I mean, which allowed you to select, if you have a folder open, then you can select the parts or the assemblies. You can see the parts in the folder individually or the assemblies, all that. If you have an assembly which is referencing too many parts, you can just click on the references, and if you want to change the reference, the reference of any part, you can just change it also. We have a large design review mode wherein you can, if there's a very large assembly and you just want to open it for the visualization purpose, to just have a section view, have a measurements and all, you can use the large design review mode. Okay. And finally, in the last I showed you assembly visualization, which helps you to visualize how exactly your assembly is divided into based on mass or density or any other parameter that you wish to see. You can see it, it's like a color coding basically. Okay. And we also saw the select other and temporary hide. So just by clicking the tab key, you can temporarily hide any component there. Okay. And select other. For example, there is a part and I want to select a face or a feature which is behind that part which is not visible. I can just select that feature or the part and say select other. That helps you to select any faces or feature behind that particular part. We have selection tools. Selection tools in the sense you found it, you can find it in the top, an arrow mark where I used to select all the toolbox components, right? Multiple selections at once. We saw about performance visualization. It helps you to check what time, what is the rebuild time of your entire assembly, and you can decide whether you have to use that feature freeze command, to reduce your rebuild time. Next thing, control drag to copy. I want to, in an assembly, I want to create a copy of the part. I just, in the feature manager tree or on the part, I just press control and drag it. A copy of that particular part is created. Okay. Then select all. It's very simple. I didn't speak about that, but just it's like a control A, control C, control V. When you just say control A, all the components are selected at once. Okay. Next thing is copy with mate. For example, once again I recap this because this will be very important to you. When I select a subassembly and say Control C and then do a Control V, the entire subassembly will be copied along with their mates. Okay, the mate references are not broken. And we saw copy appearances. That is, I repainted a knuckle kit. I just right click and say copy, not even right click, sorry. I just left click on any component and say copy appearance. I can take it on another part and just say paste and it is done. And opposite hand mirroring, I mean, I would personally want you to experiment this at your end. This is one fantastic tool. You just go on mirroring. You can invert the way. For example, if you don't want a mirror that way, you can even invert it. Okay, and there are many more things that you can experiment out there. And from 2016 onwards, we have something called as component preview window toolbar. This is very useful, especially when you're applying some mates. Okay, you can rotate those components individually, zoom it. Okay, everything can be done. A lot of power. Okay, the next thing is temporary fix all group. I mean, this was available even previously. I think it was an option. I think it's in move components. Okay, you could find this to temporarily fix or temporarily group some components. So it is basically you are temporarily arresting the degree of freedom, not permanently. So mates would permanently, I mean, arrest the degrees of freedom, but this would temporarily arrest the degrees of freedom. Okay. So last thing, I'll finish it quickly in drawings. Okay. Okay. So when I just say new drawing, the sheet size. Okay. See, initially if I want to change the scaling, we need to right click properties and then change the scaling, right? But here, see, now we have it right here. Okay. So whatever components or parts, if you want to, I mean, change the sheet scaling size. So everything can be done from right here. Okay, you need not go there. The next thing is convert to sketch. I mean, I think better I open some drawing for that. Okay. I'll quickly do this. As usual, we have everything populated. Okay. Now, one important thing that we need to know. See, for example, if I want to send this drawing, okay, to my customer or to my manager, see, what happens is I have to send this drawing along with the part because this drawing is referencing that particular part, right? Okay, so if you don't send it without the part, the drawing won't open. It will say that there is some reference missing. Okay, but what you can do is, see, we have something called as save as. Okay, you see here, you have something called as detached drawing. Can you see here? Detached drawing, right? So when I save this as a detached drawing, now you can send only this particular drawing file. You need not send the part file along with it because we have broken the reference between this particular drawing sheet and the part. So I save this as a detached drawing, and now I can send only the particular drawing file, to my manager or to whomever it is concerned. Okay, and one more option we have. I don't know if you're familiar with this. See, I just right click and we have an option to convert view to sketch. So what happens when I do this? When I say convert view to sketch, okay, replace view with sketch, I say okay. Now what will happen is the entire sketch will be broken into, I mean the entire sketch will be broken into entities. Can you see this? Now they have become entities. Okay, and what the use of this is, now whatever changes you make here, okay, will not be updated in the part level. So if you want that, if you don't want any future changes that is done in the drawing to get updated in your assembly or part, whichever way it is, you can just right click and just convert it into view into sketch. Okay, it has lost that bidirectional relationship with the part. Okay, or the best thing I would suggest is you just save it as a detached drawing and then you work over it. Okay. Next thing, I'll just delete these two projected views once again. Please go back into the part. So I'll just quickly open this. So we have, I have last two things to explain. I'll finish it quickly. Okay. So once again, very quickly, we say okay. Once again, everything is populated right there. Say I just pull this. Now, say I want a projected view, but I don't want this view to be here. Okay, I want it somewhere at the end of the sheet. By pressing Control, see, you can break the alignment. You can take it wherever you want. Okay. See, when I remove, when I just release Control, what is happening is, see, there is an alignment, right? You can see that axis. It is aligned like this. But if I wish to break the alignment, all you need to do is just select Control and just move it. See, it moves. So you can place it wherever you want. So basically you are trying to disconnect it from the parent view or the projected view. Okay, so you can make use of that. And also for people, I mean, we know that we have the draft site here, okay? So we have draft site, you can use that, and we also have the necessary tools, to convert 2D to 3D. I'll just show you that quickly. Okay. See, right click. If I say right click, see, we have something called as 2D to 3D. Okay. So if you are using AutoCAD, I mean, I suggest that you stop using that, because there is a software called as draft site from SolidWorks, which is available free of you. I mean, free of cost, free for you. It is completely legal. You can just download it right from, I mean, you can download it right online, and you can start using it. Okay. You can completely, I mean, eliminate the use of AutoCAD in your companies, because SolidWorks is providing that for us for free. You can have a single platform. So if you have a 2D drawings from AutoCAD or draft site, okay, you can directly bring in the sketch. Okay, you can bring in the sketch and convert into a 3D, or you can just work on the 2D itself. Okay, see, I mean, if you have a DWG file out there, all you need to do is you just drag it and then get it inside the SolidWorks, and it will automatically convert it into a 2D entity, and then you can convert it into a 3D if you wish, using these features. Okay, and last thing, we also have a drawing comparability. Just a minute. Quickly open the drawings. Okay, for example, I have drawings here. Open this. See, we even have the options, okay, to compare the documents. So you can see these options. You can compare two drawings. In the sense, I'll just show you. See, I say a reference document is, okay, this one. Just want to browse for this. Just a minute. And this one. Okay. So basically what will happen is you can compare these two. I just say run comparison. You can see that SolidWorks automatically compare these two drawings for us. It will give me a list of, just a minute. Just back with that. Okay, you can see here it is giving it is comparing the sizes between these two drawing sheets, the same part but with some changes. Okay, you can see you can see which is the date, you can compare the date, and what is the total number of views that is present there. See, for example, this has only 4, but it is showing me that the other drawing has 5. So basically you can compare many properties. Basically you can compare the properties with that. So this is for, again, easy visualization purpose. You can check that, and there are much more things that you can do with this. I mean, I'm just showing you the tools. The experimentation part of it, I think you must do it at your end. Okay, so finally the last recap. Okay, I just quickly go back there. Okay, so we covered the convert to sketch. So you can just select a view, right click and say convert to sketch, right? So that will convert it into sketch entities, and you will lose the relations between the part. So whatever changes you make there will not be reflected in the part, or it will not be updated in the part. The next thing is drawing comparison. Then you just go inside drawings, evaluate. You have something called as compare documents. You can just select that and start comparing your drawings. Sheet scaling. You need not right click properties, sheet scaling. It's right there in the below tab. 2D to 3D conversions. When I just right click on the command manager, you see some 2D to 3D conversion tools. So all you need to do is, if you have some AutoCAD files, just drag it and drop it inside your SolidWorks interface. That is the graphical area, and you have options to convert it to 2D and 3D as well. Okay, and when adding projected, yes, so when we're adding projected views, when you hold control, okay, it automatically breaks the alignment between that. And finally, I talked about draft site, right? You can completely eliminate the use of AutoCAD, and you can start using that. So I mean, I hope this session was useful to you. Maybe I've taken